All right, hello everybody. Was not expecting to be trading today, but here I am trading in all of its glory and had a really nice day today here on this bonus Friday. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you hit like and subscribe. It's actually free for you. It means a lot to me. We're almost up to that 1K subscriber mark. When we get there, we'll do some kind of giveaway. But for today, let's go. Let's trade. Alright, so first trade today was here on NIO. You can see it hitting down on the scanner up into the high teens below me here. And I'm watching it here as it gets over 19, and it's starting to struggle there, so I go ahead and get it started here with 200 shares at 1902, and we'll see what it wants to do from here. So definitely willing to add into this thing. It's already up pretty nicely, about 50-60 cents. Maybe even a little bit more since the open. It was kind of around 18.20 all throughout pre-market. So we're almost up a full dollar since kind of where it was in pre-market now in NIO. And when you're up a full dollar on a $19 stock, was an $18 stock, that's a pretty big move overall. So waiting to see what it does here, but in the starter share size here of 200 at 1902. If it comes down below 1880, I'll probably look to start piecing this one out. But if it gets up over 1925, that's the spot where I will look to start adding in more shares here. So here it comes. It's moving up a little bit, but not going to click the button until I get at least 1925 here, just because that's kind of that halfway point between 19 and 1950. So kind of piecing it out within that range makes it easier and more predictable, at least a little bit, on where to have my risks and entries and all that kind of stuff defined here. So we're moving up towards 1920. Can we get up through the 1920s here on the S? Sitting there at 1920. There, it's through 1920. Here comes 1925. Not going to click until we get through there, and then it makes a nice move through there. I click the button and I get the fill at 1930. So I now have 400 shares short with an average of 1916 here on NIO, but I'm not going to look to cover this one unless I get at least under 19. Want to get at least under 19 under both entries here before I start covering out any parts of this, but overall doing pretty good on it, I think, so far. I like where my entries are, I like where my average is, I like my share size at 400 shares, so it's just a matter of waiting and seeing what's going to happen. Can it get down under 19? It comes down and it starts hitting this 1905 area. You can see it came down, hit 1905, pop back up a little bit, and I'm like, we'll see. Maybe it's going to get hung up there around that 1905 mark, just over the big whole dollar number, but I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to cover before it gets under 19 here. So hitting that 1905 mark again. Can it start pushing down below? No, it kind of bounces off it again here at 1905. So I'm like, okay, definitely got some resistance here at 1905 to the downside. We're going to need it to push through there before I get any kind of covers here. But we'll see what it does here on NIO. Still kind of just in waiting and limbo of what it's actually going to do on this move. But sitting here with the 400 shares short, there it gets below 1905, and then all of a sudden, boom, look at this big volume move bar up, and all of a sudden it's through the highs. Oh my gosh, look at this move. This is the best move of the morning so far. Here it comes up into the 1940s. This thing is now up 50 cents in about 30 seconds. So I'm looking to get in another add here if we get up towards 1950. Watching it here up towards 1950, waiting to add in 400 more. There's 1950 on the ask. Is it going to get through there? It's through. I click the button. I get 400 more shares here at 1952, which is 1 cent below the absolute highs on the day. So really happy with that final entry there in NIO. I now have 800 shares short at an average of 1934, and I'm going to wait until we can get down below at least 20 cents lower from where my average is before I start pushing this one out on the covers here. So waiting to see if we can get below 1915. Gonna go ahead and get 600 shares ready with a 1950 on the limit here. If we can get below that on the bid, I will then look to click the button here for the first fill. So getting into the teens here. Can it get below 1915? There's 16, back up into the 20s, back down into the teens. Is it going to get below 1915 and let me get my first partial cover here on NIO? I'm not sure. Once again, it's like it's kind of hanging out there, not really making a move one direction or the other. But like I said, going to be patient, not hit it until we get below 1915. So Come down towards 15 here. Can it get below the 1915 mark? There's 16. Here's 15 right below that. Can it get below? There's 15. There's below. I click the button. I get the fill here at 1914 for 600 shares on the cover. Now have 200 shares left, and I will look to start piecing those 200 shares out as we continue to the downside here. So looking for 1905 for the next 100 shares here, just to front run the $19 mark a little bit, and that's kind of where that big kind of support level was earlier in the morning, or 5 minutes ago basically, when I was trying to get it below 19 before. So I go ahead and cover out another 100 shares here at 1905, and now you're not going to see it here on this edit, but I go ahead and put a stop on those 100 shares here at 1930. If it bounces back up to that, I will just take the rest off and go from there. It'll still be a win because these shares are sitting at 1952. But I'm sitting here watching ISEE, and all of a sudden I see it break into the downside, so I go ahead and click my hot button there to take 50% off. I get filled there at 1891 on 50 shares. So I'm now all the way down to 50 shares left, and I'm going to reset my stop here at 1920 on those 50 shares. Already realized 162 on the trade, but trying to let those 50 shares sit if it wants to fade back down all the way like these do many times to where they started. But unfortunately, it started popping back up right away, and it goes ahead and fills me there on that move up. So all out there. But one of the things I love about Lightspeed is even though my stop was set at 1921 and it triggered, it still went and found me the best price on the cover possible. So I got filled there at 1919, which is only a 2-cent difference on 50 shares, which isn't much, but over time that keeps adding up more and more. So out there, NIO for plus 178, and now I'm later in the morning watching W popping up here. It's a bit lighter on the volume, but I'm watching it here around this 51 level, which is about a point move here in the last minute or so. But you see the volume is only about 25K on this candle, so a little bit cautious with it. I'm watching it here as it's just through 51 on the ask, but the bid's struggling to come up with it. So I'm like, all right, maybe I'll go ahead and put out 100 shares here at 51. I don't even get a fill immediately because it's so, but then I do get the fill here, 100 shares short on W, which is Wayfair at 51 even. So not looking for a huge move out of W on this one. I think I'll just look for at least 30 cents. If I can get a 30-cent move pull back here to the downside, just because, you know, one, that'll take me over $200 on the day, which is always nice, and then two, it's just a bit slow. So I think a 30-cent pullback is nice and achievable, but once again, I won't put it out there. I'll just get my limit order ready in case it makes a nice flush back down much faster than that, and I can get a better price. So just waiting to watch the bid here. If I see the bid get below 50.70, I will go ahead and click the button. It's down into the 50.70s. We got about a 10-cent spread or so here on Wayfair, but we'll see what it does. So sitting at 80 on the bid now. Can we get down below 70? There's 74. Can it get below 70? There's 67. I click the button and I get the fill there at 50.70 for a 30-cent move and a $30 win here on Wayfair. And that's going to do it for me today. 2 trades and all summed up $208 here on a day that I wasn't even supposed to be trading. So I will definitely take that and move on. I will definitely not be here Monday. I'm going to try to have a video out Monday about my mobile trading station now that you guys saw my actual normal one that I trade on every day yesterday. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I had fun making it. Seems like you guys enjoyed the video as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Smash like, hit subscribe, help me get back to 1,000 subscribers. I would appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend. Go Ravens! I'll see you next time.